We have Pencom approves acquisition of IEI, that's coming from Ancom Pen. Then also we have Nigeria sacrifices 431,557 apartments for 4 trillion petroleum subsidy. That's an analysis coming from the Minister of Works. Then also we have fund to introduce Park and Pay at Abuja Airport. Then also we have water transportation fare drops to 890 naira in March. That's coming from the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics. Then also we have federal government advocates stakeholders engagement on groundwater management. Then also we have why Ogun must tackle poor road infrastructure. Then also lastly from the Punch we have Disco rejects 2,495 megawatt in 1 week. Then next we'll be looking at some business news from the cable newspaper. We have court case was struck out. That's Wema Bank denies 1.7 billion money laundering allegation. Then also DMO auctions 225 billion federal bond at 1,000 naira per unit. Then also we have clearing agents to embark on strike over 15% levy on imported vehicles. Anambra sent tax demand notice to residents via text messages. And also we have Africa must prepare for inevitability of global food crisis. That's coming from Akinwumi Adesina. Then also we have how blockchain technology can improve public service delivery in Nigeria. That's a report coming from the NCC. Then Okonjo Iweala, I'm worried about another pandemic. The world's not prepared yet. Then also Buhari, we are making efforts to tackle issues undermining business. Then also we have Google Equanom Cable, federal government providing enabling environment for investors. That's coming from Patami. Then lastly from our newspaper update, we'll be looking at that from the Premium Times. From the Premium Times we have Lafarge Africa, industry and medical gases, Stanbic Bank top stock to watch this week. Then NCC academics, military personnel brainstorm on blockchain benefits to Nigeria economy. There's an interview here, how Nigeria can address challenges in grid collapse, poor electricity. Then agents to shut down Lagos port over 15% levy. Seplat Energy appoints 3 non-executive directors. Then BUA Cement sees profit surge after commissioning new plants. Then also coming from the Premium Times, we have cement makers quarterly profit nearly doubles as sales hit 91 billion naira. Still on the Premium Times, we have Naira loses again at official market. The Nigeria stock climbs for 9th trading day, but trade stay muted. Then still also from the Premium Times, we have World Bank urges Nigeria to rethink fuel subsidy multiple exchange rate. That's an advice coming from the World Bank. That's all we'll take from newspaper updates. Next, we'll be looking at the Nigeria stock market, and first from the Nigeria stock market, we'll be looking at the top gainers list. So like I said, we'll be looking at the Nigeria stock market. We'll be looking at the top gainers for the week. And from our list, we have Wando PLC, and it sells for 5 naira 86 kobo, and for the technical rating is a strong buy. We have a Tana PLC, which sells at 6 naira 65 kobo, which is a strong buy. I'll pick a few top gainers from the Nigeria stock market. We have Zenith Bank PLC, 25 naira 30 kobo, which is a strong buy. We have a Glazo Smith, which sells at 6 naira 25 kobo, also a strong buy. We have the Flour Mill PLC. Also we have the UBA, the Union Bank of Nigeria, and also we have Honey Flour PLC. This makes the list of the top gainers from the Nigeria stock market. Then from among the list of the top losers in the Nigeria stock market, we have that of Academy Press PLC, selling at 1 naira 17 kobo. We have a Champion Brewery PLC, selling at 2 naira 8 kobo. We have a Sterling Bank PLC, selling at 1 naira 47 kobo. We have Vitafoam PLC, selling at 22 naira 20 kobo. We have Echo Transnational Incorporated, selling at 11 naira 90 kobo. These are the top list of the losers from the Nigeria stock exchange. Next, we'll look at the exchange rates. From the exchange rate, we just pick about 3 currencies which we have here. The US dollar is trading at the official rate at is selling at 414 naira. Then the pounds is selling at 553 naira. Euro, that's to naira. Then euro is selling at 448 naira. 448 naira. Then lastly, I'll take that of the current crude oil prices at the international market. They have the WTI crude, which sells at 98 naira per barrel. Then the Brent crude is being sold at 102 naira per barrel. We have heating oil sold at $3.8 dollar. Then the natural gas is being sold at $6.39. So that's all we'll be taking from our market and news updates for this segment of the program. Next, we'll be going straight to our discussion segment, and you can be part of the discussion segment. You can call at the appropriate time. I open the studio line. You can call any of these numbers: 091-610-47698, or you can call 081-105-26487, or you can call 090-2280-9257. You can call any of this number at the right time to be part of the program. And we'll be looking at a concern being raised by the World Bank to the Central Bank. According to this report, the World Bank is blaming the Central Bank foreign exchange policy on importation restriction for the cause of rising food inflation. I'll take a few reports from here so that we'll have a brief understanding of what the World Bank is trying to say. The World Bank has warned that import restriction and the Central Bank of Nigeria foreign exchange policy are the main drivers of food inflation in Nigeria. The Nigeria Central Bank has implemented regulations such as prohibiting some commodities from accessing forex at the official rate through the investors and exporters window. Nonetheless, the Washington-based lender has determined that policies aimed at pinning the currency rate and imposing trade restrictions have fueled Nigeria alarming inflation. And these are some of the policies being implemented in the year 2021 and 2022 by the Apex Bank. The National Bureau of Statistics released the CPI. CPI is the Consumer Price Index report for the month of March 2022, which shows that Nigeria inflation rate weakened to a 5-month high, standing at 15.92%, representing a 0.21% rise above the 15.7% rate recorded in the previous month. So the rise in the rate was attributed to the 17.2% rise in the food index, while the core inflation stood at 13.9% for March 2022. The uptick in food inflation rate was attributed to the increase in the price of bread and cereals, food products, potatoes, yam and other tubers, fish, meat, oil and fats. The CBN classified 41 products on its FX restriction list in 2015. The year 2015, the CBN placed a restriction on 41 products, claiming that the action was required to conserve the country's foreign reserve and stimulate local production of the restricted item. What the CBN mean by this restriction is that they are not going to release forex for this 41 product, that they want to use it as a medium to boost local production. A few of that 41 products, we have margarine, poultry and eggs, rice and cement are among the commodities that made the list in the year 2015. But in the year 2020, the Apex Bank added maize to its list of foreign exchange restriction, instructing all licensed dealers to stop processing from M for maize corn importation into the country immediately. Then also sugar and wheat have also been added by the central bank to this FX restriction. So in the year 2022, in addition to the 41 restricted products, they added maize, sugar and wheat. Then in 2022, the CBN announced the introduction of e-evaluator and e-invoice to replace hard copy final invoice as part of the documentation required for all import and export transaction. So these are some of the policy that was introduced by the CBN that the World Bank is actually kicking against. These are the policy that gave birth to a rise in inflation in Nigeria. So what the World Bank is actually saying that rising food prices are the underlying factor behind the surge of headline inflation in Nigeria. Food prices have increased due to import restriction and non-flexible exchange rate management by the CBN. The World Bank stated that the CBN forex policy is keeping the naira strong in the investors and exporter window, that's the I and E window. However, the value of the naira remains weak in the black market. So the current regime is keeping the official exchange rate of the naira artificially strong, while the naira has weakened significantly on the parallel market. So the CBN is trying to let the World Bank is trying to let the CBN understand that you are doing this, you are having an artificial strong currency, but in the actual sense, the currency is actually weak. And let's look at some of the policies, some of the CBN policies in the year 2021. Throughout 2021, the Central Bank of Nigeria implemented various reforms and policy to ensure economic and financial stability. And some of the policies that were introduced or given by the CBN in the year 2021 is one, we have what they call the Naira for Dollar scheme. In March 2021, the Apex Bank introduced the Naira for Dollar scheme as an incentive to boost inflow of diaspora remittance into the country. With the initiative, all recipients of diaspora remittance through CBN licensed international money transfer operators are paid 5 naira for every $1 received as remittance. So that's one of the policy. Then also we have ban of forex sales to BDC. BDC are bureau de change. In July 2021, the CBN banned the sales of foreign exchange to bureau de change operators. It also stopped the issuance of new license to BDC. And according to that report, after a day after this was done, the naira also fell from 505 naira to 525 naira per dollar. Then also another policy is clamp down on fintech companies over illegal forex crypto trading. In February 2021, the CBN directed deposit money banks, non-bank financial institutions, and other financial institutions to identify persons or entities involved in cryptocurrency transactions within their system and ensure that such accounts are closed. And this policy had some impact and effect on some Nigeria. So in August 2021, the Federal High Court in Abuja granted a request to the Central Bank of Nigeria to freeze accounts belonging to some technology trading platform offering local and foreign stock, talking about this ban to cryptocurrency. Then further, in October 2021, the Central Bank of Nigeria rolled out the e-naira. Many of us heard about the e-naira, but the question is, how far have the government or the CBN gone with this e-naira? Then lastly, because of our time, we'll talk about one or another policy from the CBN, which is the 100 for 100 policy. On October 25th, 2021, the CBN announced the introduction of its new financial instrument tagged the 100 for 100 PPP, that's Policy on Production and Productivity. What this simply means is the 100 for 100 PPP is a scheme designed to financially support 100 targeted private sector companies every 100 days beginning from November 1st, 2021. So companies can apply for as much as 5 billion under this scheme. Any amount above 5 billion would require a special approval from CBN. But I will try to ask a question: how many of Nigeria companies are aware of this particular policy from the CBN? So, however, the selection criteria for the scheme limit the instrument to only new projects and would not cover any refinance of existing facilities. According to the CBN, the initiative is a long-term loan for the acquisition of plant and machinery and as well as working capitals. So these are some of the policies from the CBN we'll be looking at, and majorly we'll now link it up with what the World Bank is saying, that the CBN Forex policy and import restriction are the major cause of food inflation in Nigeria. So with me, I have my regular analyst who is joining me in the studio to look at some of this policy. I have Mr. Sumbo with me here. Welcome to the program, sir.
Good morning. It's good to be here again.
Yeah, thank you very much for honoring our invitation. Now,
it's a pleasure.
We've looked at some of these policies from the CBN, talking about ban to foreign forex, and also majorly this restriction placed on 41 products, forex restriction to 41 products. Although the CBN is citing the reasons to boost local production and consumption, that is why. But the World Bank has come up to say that your policy as a bank, as the apex bank of the nation, is a major cause of inflation in Nigeria. So what's your take, sir, on this?
The World Bank is right because that is the reality on ground. All these policies are being targeted, according to the government, at helping the local industry. But the consumers were not factored into the situation. The ideal thing would have been that, okay, you give incentive to local manufacturers to upgrade their production while the imported ones are still there, so that they will now be able to compete in a healthy manner in the market with the foreign competitors, and let the consumer, when you are doing that, you are reducing the power of choice from the consumers. thereby restricting them and also making economic bandits out of the local manufacturers. And that's the situation where we now have, because the competition has been narrowed down. Some of them have metamorphosed into a cartel, fixing whatever they feel like as the price, knowing fully well that the consumers will have no other choice. And since the choice options have been reduced by those policies, then we begin to have high prices. That's on one part. There are some other activities locally that has militated against these policies. For instance, the agricultural value chain was hindered by security problem as well as logistics problem. And I say security, that's obvious, it needs no explanation. But when I say logistics, you bring petroleum product into it. The roads, some are bad, some are not secure to pass through. Now, the fueling of the vehicles that convey these items to the markets, the prices are also up, and it will have a spillover effect on the price. And of course, the purchasing power of the consumers kept reducing, because the more inflationary rate you have there, the lower the purchasing power becomes, especially when there is no corresponding increment in their income. 30,000 naira is the minimum wage. 30,000 naira, how many dollars would that equal to? That's about $6 or something, or 60. Now, when you have that as an instance, it means people would be using that meager resources to buy several other items that have increased. We are talking about products. There are some services that have also gone up. For instance, rent has skyrocketed, has increased by almost 150% across board. Why did rent go up? Because the price of construction has also gone up. Even those who have built their house in
1984,
when cement bag was 15 naira, they will still attribute the 4,200 as the cement is currently sold as the reason why they are increasing the rents. And you don't blame them. Most of this landlord live on this rent, and they will have to buy other products which they don't manufacture at high price. So that means they will also fall back on what they are producing, which is the house, the accommodation they are giving out on rent. So all these things have corresponding effects, and you can't blame it on any other thing. There are some decisions that were taken in a haste. For instance, dairy products was on the list of the initial 41 item. Where are the local dairy farms that we have that will supply the dairy product companies? So you don't have local alternative. Yes, you are placing a restriction. That means they will have to go to the BDC to source for forex, to go import their concentrates.
So that means the CBN did not really look properly.
Proper feasibility wasn't
before they
done.
did that.
Yes.
41.
Proper visibility wasn't done. And you know one thing, in a democracy where capitalism thrives, your economic policy must be favorable to the key players of the economy. In other words, you are supposed to carry them along, otherwise they will frustrate you. They will frustrate the policy and convert it in a way to inflict hardship on the people. That is the situation that we have here.
If I'm to draw your attention to what you said, or make you expatiate on what you said, that the policy must favor the key players. In our economy, there are some sectors that we can actually pinpoint and say, this particular sector, this particular individual is a key player. So are we not saying that these people are, in one way or the other, manipulating some of these monetary policies or fiscal policies from the government to favor their interest? Because if you look at wheat production, if you look at corn production, if you look at dietary production and some other production, sugar, people have names you can actually point to that these are key players. Are they like the ones manipulating? Or
yes, they are the ones, but you didn't mention another player which is also important, and that's the bankers.
Yes, bankers too is another.
So you cannot but carry the bankers along. They must key into your policy. Not that you will not carry them along, put the policy in place, they look at
But
it, it doesn't favor them, and they will begin to work against it.
But the policy should favor the citizens first. The citizens should be the first consideration in the policy.
That is the initial motive. But in formulating it, you must let the players understand your motive. Otherwise, it will be a clash of two elephants, and the citizens will be the grass in this equation. And this is what we are battling with. That's what we are going through in Nigeria today. Because you look at these policies, they are supposed to favor the masses, but are the masses enjoying the benefits? The answer is no. Do you understand what I'm saying? No, if you begin to dig deeper, without going into the realm of politics, you may not, we may be finding, for instance, look at the rate of kidnapping. Do you think the banks will not give intel on who are the account owners, or how this, even though they claim the bandits collect cash, but how did they spend it without the banks knowing about a particular amount of a particular bank account being having some huge deposit into it? No, investigation can be traced. Every bank customer have profiles.
Yes.
That is their identity with you. Profiles can be linked to each other through the BVN, and BVN has biometrics that can be run side by side other means of identification that we have.
The NIM and the like.
So, which means that if we want to really go about crime investigation to know those who are behind this, it can be done. But of course, you have these players always there to protect their own interests. But when you involve them in this old issue from the home states, they will tell you the extent of concession they can make.
That they will not lose out.
That they will not lose out completely, and they will not see it as an attack on them. And at the end, you have not attacked them, you have carried them along, they were part of the policy formulation, and they will not come and frustrate the policy. Sit Dangote down and ask him why should cement be 4,200 naira. He will come up with excuses. You understand? And what will be the excuse? He will also link it to forex. And I can't remember the amount of components, the raw component that forms cement that has forex inclusion. You understand what I'm saying here? And if you have, he will say that's the market price, not the price that is releasing it to the market. But you fix it. You understand what I'm saying? And I've said it on this program before. If bottling companies could put the recommended retail price on their product, I would have mentioned it, but it will be an advert. What stops the cement companies from putting the recommended retail price on the cement product?
Even with those recommended prices, we discovered that I know some of them that goes into this consumable vegetable oil. You see it's labeled on it 17 naira. But these retailers still sell it above those prices. So that brings me to what role, like a consumer protection, there should be a consumer protection agency.
When you see it at above that price, you already know the buyer, the seller, is probably making excess profits, or it belongs to those who are outside of the, what is it called now? The initial price mechanism. What do I mean? Maybe she's also buying from a nearby retailer to come and sell within that local environment. And she has bought at 70 naira. She cannot sell at 70 naira. She will probably add 10 naira to it. And because we hardly spend the lower denomination, we will just quickly round it up to 100 naira. But the consumer has the right to ask questions. But when nothing is put there, you cannot ask any question. It's whatever he or she tells you that you will believe. You understand? For the ones that are branded, you have the choice. Buy there or go to where they will sell at the recommended price. let there be recommended price for cement coming directly from the
Another
factories.
thing I want to stay cheap in here to in terms of pricing, because you talk about recommended price. I remember not quite long we've been having this issue of up spec fuel, and some petrol station took advantage of it. Some sells at 250 and the likes. But gradually, if you go around time, discover that on their own, even without the former is it DPRO system that they will go about sealing up petrol stations, we never saw any of such. But because of the level of competition, on their own they began to retrieve their step back to 165. Now bringing it down to some of products. If you look at some area, let me take for instance sugar. We know some key players in this industry. Now petroleum is coming on board. Some key players are taking over the stage when it comes to petroleum products. Don't you think this issue of licensing of operators, the government has some fault in it? Because I believe if there is competition, like the narrative you gave, the example you gave, the woman buying her own from a fellow retailer, selling it at 18 naira above the price printed on it. If another person comes beside her and is selling 17 naira, she'll be forced to look for where to buy her own cheaper so that she can sell the same price. So I don't you think that this issue of licensing of operations, the government is not is what role do you think the government is playing in terms of certain products?
I won't put the blame on the government in that area. It's just that where we can blame the government is in the area of security and infrastructure. If you look at the players in most of the staple products that we have, the big player has the same set of people. We don't have new set of people coming in. Why are new set of people coming in? Because they do not understand the dynamics of our economy yet, and what will attract them or convince them to bring their money to invest are not on ground.
But don't you think some of the big players are the ones?
The big players, of course, because new players are not coming in, they have formed a cartel. You understand? To exploit the people. And that's why you don't see the company A is not selling too different from company B, and they claim to be in competition. Do you understand that? They deliberately fix it at that price so that you will still buy their product. And if you look at them, for you to know that they formed a cartel, they've mapped out domains. There are some areas that you can't find a particular product in abundance. You find the other brand, so that it will not also be making loss. All these are because of the situation of things in the country. That's where we blame the government. But in terms of people coming in to take the risk, further risk, government will give anybody that approaches them license. It's just that people are not, they're afraid of bringing their money. But these other ones have been established within the economy. They understand whatever will come, they know how to withstand it. So that's why they are having their way, as to speak. But government can go about improving. Yes, efforts are being made at the level of infrastructure, but security has become a thorn in the flesh. We are having serious issue with that one, and because of that, even those who are supposed to, who have the wherewithal, they are afraid of going into the. And if you look at the agricultural products, the area for that one is that we are not producing enough. Surplus will force down the price, but scarcity will jack it up. When the petroleum product was being sold at high price, it was as a result of scarcity. But when there was surplus, other outlets that were not selling now have product to sell. Of course, they want to dispense the product as fast as possible to get new supplies. They will not sell at a price that will chase people away.
Now
so because of that, you see the price naturally coming to the normal price that we used to buy it.
Now you talk about surplus and demand, supply and demand. Now the CBN have rolled out certain policies to take care of this issue of supply, that's production. And I believe that was why some of these 41 products were given a forest restriction, FS restriction, so that local demand can be boosted. Now there is one of the policy I read which 100 by 100, by the CBN. I know there are a lot of policy they give out where for every 100 days they empower 100 complaints to a tune of high as 5 billion naira. Now the question is, how involved have the CBN been when it comes to local production? Because some of these things we read it out like a kind of like on newspaper. The CBN have given out anchor borrowers for is it anchor borrowers fund? They are giving out this palliative. They are giving out these things, but are they not? They're supposed to reflect in the supply and production chain that would have ease or bring down the price of some of these goods. Look, I remember when they closed the border for rice importation, thinking that would boost local production, but still we are still struggling with price.
Let me start from the rear. Rice production was actually boosted,
but why is the
but
price
the issue of logistics and what is it called, the fact that the government did the policy in a haste. They are supposed to allow that healthy competition. Now they are coming back to it. 2 days ago, 4 of the land borders were opened because they realized that this thing was not properly thought out before it was implemented. You first of all allow the local product to struggle on its own. You just give them incentive to be able to stand. When you now see that they are doing that, you can now begin to, you can even leave it like that because it's supposed to be an open market. By the time those who are bringing in the product realize that people are not buying the imported products, they would stop bringing it in. That would naturally settle it, and they too would either join the local trading. Now for the 100 by 100, it is lack of effective communication. How many Nigerians are aware of that policy? What press conference, what town hall meetings did the CBN carried out to inform the people about the benefits and the advantages that they have? What is even the detail of the policy that is even housed there in the public domain? You understand? When people don't know something, they will not be interested in it.
Is it that the CBN is not the one giving out the policy or the mechanism of communicating their policy?
I'm saying there's no synergy between the CBN, the Ministry of Finance, and the Information Ministry. Because you have to carry the people along, or you are only doing it just to favor your political allies. You understand? But if it is an open thing for as many, majority of the major problem Nigerians have is access to capital.
Yeah.
And if you are saying that is available and people are not coming for it, it means that they are not either not aware of it, or you have put some but invisible bottleneck, or what is it called, hidden conditions in it that is chasing people away. Government need to come out and be more open. This administration has been guilty of secrecy, and that is one of the reasons why they are having issues carrying the people along. You cannot just put the thing on the government media outfit alone. No, reach out to other private media. Let it be. It's not only political issues that will be publicizing. All these things need to be made public. And if it is the bandits in the economy that are, stamping it down, expose them so that people would know that yes, these people are our problem. You understand what I'm saying here? So these are issues that is affecting the policy, and there are some things that they will first of all start the implementation before talking about it. Meanwhile, the process of formulating it, you ought to carry the people along so that they would also be expectant at the time that you will start implementing it. And the moment you start the implementation, you see that people would welcome it and embrace it, and you begin to record success. But all this are not being done, and is a major problem.
Yeah, at this point you can be part of the discussion. You can call the studio lines on 091 610 47698, or you can call 081 105 26487, and also you can call 0902 280 9257. You can call any of this number to be part of the program. You can give your suggestion, you can give your contribution to any of what we've been discussing. Now, going back to this policy and what the World Bank have said concerning CBN, don't you think that, like you rightly said, don't you think that the CBN too, sometimes they don't really look at the maize, when the maize importation also was added to the list? It was almost like something that came up so sudden. People just woke up one morning to hear that it has. Don't they really have time to think or strategize, or they have been strategizing, but is a communication gap that is making it look so sudden?
There is the communication. That's why I said they've not been communicating enough.
So not just the policy.
They have experts in there, qualified people who are doing their job rightly, and those policies too, they used to have a significant advantage. But the problem has always been that people don't understand what you have brought up, and because they don't understand, they don't subscribe to it.
Yeah, we have a caller. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, good morning. Your name and where you calling from? Yeah, we can hear you.
What is the topic for today?
Yeah, we are looking at the central bank gave a warning to the CBN that the CBN policy is part of what is causing inflation in Nigeria. So we are looking at some of the CBN policy and how it affects the Nigeria economy.
Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you. Good. We are here for you. Anytime you call, please, you have to read it. So that people that get brain, you need to know what to say. You need to want to say that the rest of the time, we know that the CBN is a bank. You know, anything happens to inflation, they have power to reduce it. You know, talking about using it's not only printing paper, legal money. It is a bit of a CBN. They show that the inflation is reduced. You can see what is happening today, as I said the other time this morning. Imagine 83,000 people pay the tax. And everything it's like some people call elected people or whoever that have a medium industry. That's why I said that, in those days, in the place, look at everything. They place them under the high place. Thereby they can get the tax. So regarding the issue you are talking about, CBN need to do its own duty. Otherwise, we are going to get the problem. Okay, God bless you.
Yeah, thank you very much for that contribution. And you talked about the CBN need to play its own responsibility. Actually, CBN have been playing its responsibility, but we are basically looking at the effect and the impact of some of these rules and responsibilities being played by the CBN. Now, there's another policy the CBN came up with, is this ban to crypto currency. What's your take on that particular one?
That one, I see it's more of being a political thing and trying to copy some countries that we like to copy. You know, we've discussed this. Crypto is something that promotes economic activity outside of CBN's control.
Okay, let's pick this call. Hello.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Apologies with a different number. I'm Shitu from Ibr92.5FM.
Okay, welcome, sir. Go ahead with your thoughts.
I want to concur with the indoor guest. World Bank is totally right. Banking policies should target expansion, inflation management, strength of currency, exchange rate, economy development and advancement, and finally, innovations in technology on economy. This the CBN has failed to attain. If you look at it from the first Governor General, Grantham, that is when we started in 1963, and until the last one, immediately. The policies have been entirely government-driven instead of economic-driven. And that is what is killing us. Now, if you interrogate the system within the bank, for instance, the MPR, that is monetary policy rate, if you see the way they are doing things, it is just a guy just doing it as their own way, not bringing the people, not informing the people, not educating. Look at the issue of the MPC, that is Monetary Policy Committee. Look at the way they have been acting. Nigerian part of that African banking market is totally a kind of disengagement. It's like it's not part of the African banking system because what is obtainable in Ghana is not what is obtainable here. And I need the CBN to come and defend and say it is not so. You see, if you look at it very well, if CBN has been actually acting, by now they should be here. They should be at IBR to tell us things, to inform, educate, and sanitize. One of the senior managers, I am sorry, I'm not going to mention it. I don't know how he got my number, and he chose to call me and said they have done a lot. After all, they are on WhatsApp, they are on all YouTube, they are on all whatever technology. So why are they coming to the radio again? I am shocked to hear that a man that is supposed to know that the radio knowledge, the radio and TV knowledge will take us far, and it will be more engaging and more informative. So I am still standing here demanding that if CBN must really work out and be like other banks elsewhere, they should come down here and do what this gentleman is doing for us this morning. Look at the education this gentleman has given to us. Look at the information he has given to us. If CBN can provide somebody to do this, that means we will be enjoying their services here as a social service. For crying out loud, it is high time for them to be here because they are not yet performing well. Thank you for allowing me. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for that contribution. I know and I believe the CBN, they are listening, and we hope we'll get a response from them as regards some of these issues, because they are issues of concern. Because when you talk about inflation, because for a World Bank to come up to cast the blame that some of this inflation we are experiencing in Nigeria is as a result of some of their policy, we've been able to pick out some of the policies, and also we've been able to spot out a communication gap between the CBN and other agency of the government, and why the people are not either informed, or this thing comes to us like a shock or surprise. And again, let me draw your attention to this particular e-Naira that was launched by the CBN. It's like most Nigerians have forgotten about. We have a e-Naira, because I think that was done in a kind of like a replacement for the cryptocurrency ban. Also, you can be part of this program. You can call the studio line on 091 610 47698, 081 105 26487, or you can call 090 2280 9257. We have a caller. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Your name and where are you calling from?
Yes. Okay, my name is Moruf. I'm calling from Akinyele.
Okay, go on with your thoughts, sir.
Okay, I really appreciate this topic. I so much enjoy this. However, my perspective to all this is different. Maybe you cannot have a very good car and you have a bad driver, and you expect to have a safe trip. That's just the summary. The egg is key. If you have someone who knows what to do, who is a square peg in a round hole, we don't need all this. We don't need to be the one to tell them what to do. If you watch this government from the beginning of 2015, we started with the dollar thing. Different story. Initially, the Ed did not even know why we had that surge in our exchange rate. Initially, he blamed the Burundi change. Do you understand? He blamed the Burundi change. Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you, sir.
Later, he said, okay, we will not, it is because of those who are paying school fees. You understand? The government was just going like this, coming back. Now, if you actually know what to do, you will not be the one, nobody has to tell you anything. You understand? I think the key thing is we should not be treating policy when you do not put the right person there. Okay? If you have a good driver, you have a good trip. That's just the summary. This man did not know what he's supposed to do. He's bringing one policy today, he will change it tomorrow. Haven't you seen it? Yeah. So it is about proficiency. Let's get the right person to do the job. We don't have any issue.
Okay, thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
very much for
Thank you
allowing
very
me.
much for your contribution. Let's see if we can pick one more call before we call it a wrap. 09161047698 or 08110526487 or 09022809257. Now, this last caller was talking about policies and putting the right person in the right role. Don't you think the federal government has a kind of like a manipulating way on the CBN? Because we know that both of them ought to operate independently. That's why we have the fiscal policy and the monetary policy.
Of course.
Okay, let's just pick this last call. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Price.
Yeah, good morning.
This week calling for Soke Door.
Okay, just 30 seconds, please, sir.
Thank you. Let's call it state. It's so called CBN. It should be an independent institution. Is it so? It's not. It's under the executive power. Whatever the executive say, he does. That's where the problem is. Imagine, these people call elected whatever, senator or house of representative. See, at times, they get money in form of $1. What can we call this now? Remember some time ago, this incumbent now that is now a governor in Anambra, he wasn't told this 5,000 as a higher denomination. What can we call this now? Is it not because of the high cry of the people? That means stop there.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah, thank you, sir. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, your name and where you're calling from? Okay, sir. Just go on. I think that's all we can take. Our time is fast spent.
Yes, you don't. Even though the CBN is supposed to be working
independently,
but they cannot formulate policies that will be contrary to what the fiscal policy direction would be. There must be a synergy. We have identified lack of synergy in all of this, and that's why it seems things are not working. At the fiscal end, they are the ones that will consider the political implication of whatever policy they are going to bring out. Okay. You understand? Much consideration is not being given to most of these things.
Is it from the monetary aspect or the fiscal aspect?
The fiscal aspect.
Okay.
The monetary aspect will consider the impact on those who are the base. That's the masses, the buyer, the consumer of whatever product that the policy is supposed to favor.
Yeah.
Now, both of them are not doing enough of this consideration. And I said it earlier, and Prime Minister have also buttressed that, at the onset of policy formulation, they do not carry the major stakeholders along. And that's why the powerful ones among the stakeholders would always frustrate whatever policy that is coming that is not to their advantage. There must be, you must carry them along, and in the process of formulating the policy, concessions would have been made. Those possible factors that can militate against the policy would have been addressed.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Please go on with your thoughts, sir. Just go on with your thoughts.
Okay, so those are the issues that the government is having. Now, this being all these things are properly, the entire due process is followed at the level of policy formulation. We will not be having policy somersault. The idea of somersault is coming because one policy did not work, so they have to quickly think of an alternative to cushion the effect. That's why we are having that. But when you do things the right way, there will not be any issue of policy somersault, because every stakeholder that the policy will affect or that the policy would concern would have been part of the policy formulation, and they would cooperate with the implementation, and will not be having this kind of issues.
So your parting shot or your suggestion is that there should be a synergy between the fiscal aspect and the monetary aspect, so that at the end of the day, we won't be having issues with policy somersault like that.
Yes, in addition to that, effective communication. is important, and there must be enough awareness of whatever is going on. It's about the people at the end of the day, and if the people are not aware, then what is the essence?
So at this point, this is where we'll call it a wrap on the program Economy Today, reaching you live from Impact Business Radio. My name is Bright Richard.